okay, this is it. This is this. And some people ask, what is this? This is just what's happening. And there's only what's happening. But it's nearly too simple to say. Everybody knows there's what's happening. But when there's a me, when there's that whole abstract thinking and seems to be a whole story about what's going on and feeling there's someone here and there's a world and there's other people and we have to make our lives work. We have to take care. We have needs. When that's happening, then that's this. To hear there's only this, that's strange because there's a lot of talking and thinking about what's the best way, what we should do, why I do it, what there are a lot of questions and a lot of questions about how to behave, what's good, what's bad. When there's someone, there's always good and bad, and maybe good and bad, it's not that much into your mind because so many people already know it's not about good and bad. But there's still something going on about there should be some change. And that's me. Me is always somewhere the top of that whole survival system. And that me is about there's something not right yet. There's something wrong. There should be something else. There's something missing. And what is it? I'm looking for that. I can do anything what I will do everything to finally find it. There's nothing to find. This is already this. This never has been something else. It's just this. It's just what's happening. There's also not falling away of the me. There is already no me. So nothing happens when people like me or other people saying there's no me, it didn't happen. Me is just an illusion. It's not real. It seems very real and it seems very convincing that you are there and there's free will and choice. And that's not only in the mind, but it's really embodied that there's free will and choice. And there's underneath everything, the feeling, there's something not right yet. I have to find it. What can I do or not do or something. When there's someone, everything seems to be real. Everything seems to be real and solid. So when there's something missing and you're looking for answers, you look into the story. And the story seems very real. So it's in events or in looking for love in the story, looking for a home, freedom. And when there's someone, everything seems to be something. So looking for freedom is about a state, a feeling, or something solid about freedom. What this message is saying, everything is already freedom. And freedom is not feeling free, that's something else. Freedom is that there's nothing going on about it has to be something else. So it's free to be anything. It can be free to be limited also. It's just life limited, limiting. Yeah, how do you say? Being limited. So there can't be something wrong. It's just life happening, apparently. When the me, that whole feeling of there's something wrong and missing, that's not there anymore. It's very obvious that everything is apparent. Nothing is real. There's just energy. Everything is just moving. There's nothing solid. So there's also no real world. There's no real person. There's even no real body. And that seems very odd because the body, you can imagine about the world is not real and can understand. But the body seems so real and solid and so normal to experience there. There's always that body and maybe you're inside of it. When there's no body, then everything is empty. It's can be there. It's apparently there, of course. They're seeing bodies, but it's bodies and it's there. It's apparently there and it's not. And that's with everything. There can be pain. There's apparently pain, and it's not. And pain can be felt really like that. And in the same time, it isn't there. It's really strange. Maybe somebody knows. This is not about understanding, though. So you can't understand what's going on here. You don't need to understand because nothing is needed. It's already there. So there's no need that there's happening anything, they're changing anything. You don't need to see it. It's just already there. So nothing is lost. This is already everything. Nothing is lost. Nothing is wrong. Everything is it. It can be anything. It can be pain. It can be the floor. It can be emotions. It can be stress. It can be books, words, without any meaning. Nothing has any meaning. That's also strange. We're so into meaning. Nothing has any meaning. It just happens. For no one. So we can talk about that and maybe have questions, maybe you want to share. So we'll see what's going on.
Rose.
Hi, yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Good intro, nice. So Rose, what's doing the seeking? Is it the apparent me, or is it?
Yeah, it's just life. It's just, even seeking is already a little story.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not seeking. What is seeking? It's thoughts going on like, what is it? Things like that. So it seems to be seeking, and that's it's talking in the story as you talk about seeking. There is no seeking. There's just what is, and that's very concrete. It's like a thought or a movement, things like that. But for me, when there's someone and there's the whole story and my life and things like that, there's maybe not always, but a lot of times people have, there's something missing. So they're seeking for answers or for solutions, or that it's going right. The search and the feeling, this can't be it. It has to be something else. I want freedom, or I want happiness, or no me. There's always something that there's wanted. That's the search.
It's like the resonance with what you say and Tony Parsons. It's like if God came down and said, what they're saying is what they're saying true, correct, I'd put my life on it. It's like it's known. What you were sharing with us, it's absolutely known. Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. I'd put my life on it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that there's something remains of, that's the frustration.
Yeah. And that's an energetic thing. It's maybe not in the mind, but there's something going on, like, there's that search, that there can be something like there is something not right. Maybe there's some, and it projects on different things, maybe on no me. don't feel that, or I just don't have that, or there's always something that fits into that body mind. And then there's that searching again. Yeah, it can be very subtle.
Yeah, sometimes the searching is very subtle. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's like a fire.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. And the strange thing is, it's just a fire.
Yeah.
It's just that subtle, or maybe a feeling or thought. That's it already. That's it. It's just that. But we are so into abstract thinking and to the subject, what we are looking for, that it's not seen that already that fire or that movement is it already. It's too close in a way.
Yeah.
It's too normal. So it's too normal. It's such like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. That sitting, what is that? It has to be something more special. I thought it was something special. Everybody would see it, or it's a kind of still. How many times people were saying it's not a feeling? There was something going on. Like it has to be something that it's there or not there, or no, it isn't. It's so normal that's it's overlooked. Yeah.
Thank you,
It's
Rose.
just like that. It's just there. Maybe there's a movement. Then that's it. That's this. Yeah.
And would you say it's simply a belief that it isn't? Is that?
Yeah, it's a belief, but it's embodied. It's more than
Yeah.
just a belief. It's so in the cells, you could say, in the story. Then, yeah, it's so normal, and it's in the world. It seems so obvious. There's something to do. We have to do something. Otherwise, everything goes wrong. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, Dayo. Hi.
Could you speak a bit about control?
Control.
Control, like the feel like I'm in control, but then I just notice like nothing really works out like I try to work out and all that.
Yeah, that's the awful thing. Sometimes it seems like I'm in control because what's going on is exactly what you wanted and what you did, or something that you did, and then it works out. And other times it isn't. So, and then there's a thinking like, oh, maybe I didn't enough, or maybe it's why da 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 da. And we're always busy, like, because that there is control, and that we are capable to, with our free will and thinking, to manage what's going on and to do something, and then it will happen. That's so, that's not even questions most of the time. And then if it doesn't work out, it has to be something about you. So it has to be something like, oh, there's something here not right yet, or I'm not feeling it, or it can be any reason what's coming. And it has nothing to do with that. But it's so normal that we think we did something wrong. It's because of us that it didn't work. Or you can, it's really like, if you do enough, you can make it, or things like that. Those beliefs can be very strong. It's a misunderstanding. There is already no control. There is no one. So this is just body, an apparent body with nothing in it. It's just empty. And life is just energy going in a certain way. Had nothing to do with you or me or anyone. It's just life, energy, and then attraction, things like that. It's just, it's a mystery. It's so how it's going. All those events that seems to be there.
So it's so impossible to realize that that nothing I do, or what would I forgot what I want to say.
It's not because of you. Nothing is because of you.
Yeah.
Life doesn't see you. That's what we think. But there's no control. There's no one. Thoughts don't have any power. It's just thoughts. Energy is thoughting. And it's going. It's coming, going. That's it.
But it appears like my thoughts have an influence on what is happening.
Yeah, sure. Because when there's such a belief that I am here and I have a free will and I am capable with my free will or choice to do what has to be done to have enough money or whatever, then that's so embodied, that belief, then the experience will be like that too. That's connected. It's together. Belief and experience belong together, I could say. And there can be sometimes a moment like, oh, maybe it's not that. That's the suggestion. It's like, oh, don't believe like there's no control and believe that's nothing. But there can be sometimes something like, oh, maybe it's different. Maybe I don't know, maybe. And then something like that can happen. But it's so a hold. When there's a lot of stress or feeling like insecurity. So there is looking for holds and beliefs like that makes the world more manageable, or to feel like you have your life in your hands a bit, or things like that. That there's hope and all those things. So that feels more comfortable. And this is threatening that. So that's not always nice, because that hold that's your life, feels as your life, your identity, what you can do. And then suddenly it's like, oh, maybe it's not. Oh, we're looking for answers. We're looking for clues. And that's more safe, because then we know that someday it will happen if I do enough, things like that. This is about loss. So it's threatening. It's like breaking down. Oh. Ooh. Could also be a relief.
Yeah.
All those hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making it work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or finding the right thing, or
yeah, sure. And the disappointment, for a long time it worked and then suddenly not, or there's something else, or it's exhausting.
Totally.
But it's so strong, can be so strong. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. There's a message. When the relation has ended, it feels that it has to do with my behavior. That's the same question. It's the same. Like, it's always like when there's something happening and it feels painful or not nice, then we'll think, or it's because of me, or it's because of him, or it's because of some event or the government, or there's always something or someone who's doing it. And that's senseless. There's just that feeling. There's maybe sadness, or I don't know. And it's not sadness all the time. There's sadness, and then there's drinking coffee or doing shopping, or it changes all the time. Not because of anything, it's just life, aliveness. It's aliveness, it's everything. Feelings for shopping, thoughts. Nothing has any meaning. That's also a big one, because we're so into meaning, and it has to do with this and it has to do with that. That's the abstract thinking. Like it's just happening, apparently, and then there's coming like, oh, why? And then the whole story starts about why, and interpreting like why it's going like that, and maybe looking for some solutions. And it's a whole dream story. It is just that feeling, or maybe a bit stress. That's it. It's very tiny, it's very small. This is everything, this room. This is it. There's no outside. There's no other people outside. That's abstract. That's the dream. There's just this, what is seen or felt by the senses, heard, smelled. It's just this. That's everything. It's very tiny and simple, literally.
It's so radical in a sense, because everybody's running around thinking there's something.
Yeah.
There's something other than this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the normal way. Yeah. And it's so abstract thinking. It's like when you look at something on the other side of the street, there's a whole world in that thinking mind. There's going on a lot of things. You only see that body walking. That's everything. But when you're there, it seems like there's a whole world coming and behaving and things. The government and maybe your girlfriend, or and there's suddenly something happening, like there's a big noise or something like that, and then that whole world is gone. It's just suddenly, oh, just standing there. That's it.
It's obvious that you're not talking to me.
Okay. Yeah, that's just talking. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. 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 Nothing matters. Nothing matters. If there's not hearing this, maybe there's going away, getting a cup of coffee. then that's what's happening. Nothing needs to be there. You don't need to be here and listening to all what I say. There can be anything. Maybe there's something else. Maybe they're sleeping or doing something. Doesn't matter.
It's just so simple, Rose, and so radical at the same time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just right, sort of. No, there's nowhere to
Yeah.
go with it. It's like a punch in the gut. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh, come on. Yeah. And in the same time, it's just that obvious. But when this was suddenly so obvious, it was like, how could I not see that? Oh, wow. And in the same time, it was like that for a long time, of course. Yeah.
it's not
It's
the intelligence.
amazing how simple it is. Yeah. The abstract mind is so convincing. We're so, from a young age, we're so into abstract thinking and seeing everything as solid and feeling I'm here and I have to behave and responsibility and everything like that. So there's so many beliefs about what's going on. It doesn't feel like a belief because it's just normal, never questioned. Most things are never questioned. Sometimes when things not happening in the way you want to, so maybe then it's starting a bit or not. Yeah. It's very, very literally simple. Literally what's happening. Without meaning. God, in the whole world of me, everything is important and serious and has meaning. Yeah. So that's crazy. Here's a chat. Is it a story when feelings from the past are triggered? Yeah, it's not they are triggered. There can be feelings, and then the thinking, like it has to do with the past, and it's triggering something I early had or what was experiencing then. That's the story. The feelings, they are apparent, of course, but there are feelings. There can be feelings, but explaining those feelings, that's the story. You don't know. You don't know. Not knowing can be threatening because when there's someone, there seems to be like wanting to know, that seems to be more safe, that you know why. There is no why, there is no answer. It's unknown. It's not knowing. Very normal not knowing, not unknowing with a capital or things like that. It's just, you don't know. It's not knowing. You don't know why it is. It's just like that. It's just feelings. A feeling or something else. That's it. You know, you don't need to, how do I say that? That people think I have a feeling and I have to process it or I have to deal with it or things like that. There's no need to deal with it. There's no one. So there can be a feeling. There's just a feeling. It comes and goes. Maybe it comes again or and it's just feeling for no one, for no reason. A sensation somewhere, or maybe sadness or anger, or you don't know. You don't know the feeling. Maybe it's a mix. Can be there. That's it.
Rose,
Yeah.
I spent over 20 years as a Buddhist, and was sold a sort of path of ethical purification, and and at the end of that, I would blossom into enlightenment.
Yeah.
Got nothing
That's
at
a
all.
beautiful dream. Yeah.
Nothing to do with it, has it?
No.
No.
It's always something not there. It's
Yeah.
always then, oh, you don't have it. Oh, there's needing more purification. It's always some, and there seems to be some people who have it. You think, oh, they know, so I can ask them for advice or things like that. There's always something like that. It's always not yet there. It's always an agenda, like something to reach.
Yeah.
This is already paradise. It's that what's happening, and it seems always like that it has to be freedom or being quiet or things like that. No, it's everything. It would be very boring that everybody like no. And there's something, people are more above and more far, and I'm little here, like, oh yes, yeah, I will do that, maybe that will work. It's always the same story. It's always the same story, like, you have to behave in a certain way, otherwise there will be no salvation. It's always that same thing, and it's already there. It never have been lost also. It's more that abstract thinking and that misunderstanding. There's something wrong. That's it. Nothing more. And even when there's thinking, oh, there's something wrong, that's not wrong. That's just what happens. There can be that thought, can be there. So what? This is paradise, and paradise is not always only happiness or things like that. It's everything. It's alive. It can be pain, or when there's nothing trying to change it, that's that's the freedom. But for no one, because when there's looking for salvation, it's salvation for you, of course. That's the misunderstanding.
Yeah. Rose, what's interesting is you can't seem to look from anywhere but the me. The me is always on the lookout. It's always evaluating, assessing.
Yeah.
So it's almost like wearing contact lenses, contact lenses. Everything is seen through.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be like that. It's always a watcher or some. Yeah. That's what falls away or what isn't there anymore. There's no awareness. All those words is difficult, but there's no awareness. Like looking at it, it's just happening, and there's nothing. No one being busy with it. You could say that in a normal way. It's just happening, and then it's gone, and then something else. And there are thoughts for like, oh, what's going on here? Or anything can happen also. And then it's gone. There's nothing doing something with that. That's lost. There's also no identity. And so there's no Rose. Well, no big deal.
So there's no backstory.
No, there can be a remembering of what happened in the past or with my parents or things like that. That story still can come up. But the seriousness is not there. Can talk about it. Maybe with friends, we're talking about what happened. Can happen. Just like that. But we can also talk about something else. It's the same. It's nothing to do with behaving in a certain way. I don't know what I will do. You don't know. There can be thoughts or saying something or anger. I don't know. Anything can happen. Or it's already like that, of course. We're trying to manage, to control. We think we can control that because that's more safe. That's the dream. It was already not controlling, but it seems so important. And things like, that's finally working, or things like that. Yeah, it's just accidentally the same way.
The me keeps looking for signs.
Sure, because that's safe, that we know. Yeah, sure. I'm right then. I know. Yeah, it feels very strong. Yeah.
When you say, Rose, that there's no Rose, there's no, that is like, that's what's, it's just, wow.
Yeah, there's no Rose. No, there's just a face and words coming, that's it. And we are venting that there's a life of Rose and how she will behave. So there are coming questions, what you do with that. I don't know. It's just silly. As if everybody wants to be Rose, of everybody now, but some people. How it never will work, of course. It's already that. It's already Malcolm. Oh, that's it. That's the completeness. It's character. No past, no future, just waving or that. That's it.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, Johannes.
So there, nothing evolving, nothing becomes something.
No.
There's no worth in things or in the appearances, more or less.
There is no what?
No worth, any worth or value.
Oh, versus. No. Only in the story it's like that. We're making something of it. Yeah.
Because I remember a lot of situations where you say, okay, this is have more value than the other stuff, and it's all the same. There's no difference.
Yeah. It's just different. Yeah.
So this message more or less is also the end of any kind of spirituality or stuff like that, because it's just a made-up story.
Yeah. So it has nothing to do with spirituality or development.
Yeah.
No. It's the end of development. Yeah. Yeah. But it's also the end of development. You don't need to develop anymore. Hooray! Yeah. Yeah, because it's always about something is not right yet. You're not. I was always like, it's not quiet enough or this enough. No. This is it. It's like that, Johanna, like the sitting or how it goes.
Yeah, because when I look around, I see a lot of books more or less about attempts to try to develop or whatever, or spirituality or whatever, or mind development. It's all bullshit. There's nobody there.
It's bullshit. It's just it is a belief that there's a development, that it can be there, but it's just a belief. It's a misunderstanding. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
And well, the last couple of days, I remember all the stories about the so-called developed people or high developed people or gurus or whatever.
Yeah.
It's nonsense.
It's so that when there's something felt so like there's something wrong and there seems to be someone, there's always looking for something better. That's so it's so normal. Yeah. It's not wrong. It's just what's happened. It's so it can be so strong, that search.
Yeah, because I think even when we are confronted with non-duality, we see this top speakers about this message more or less and say we could become like them.
Yeah.
And coming from different spiritual tradition, more or less, it's always about becoming more or less.
Yeah.
And when we come to just non-duality, at the first time we hear this message more or less, but in the background we try to become like this figure or whatever.
Yeah.
We become nothing at the end.
No, it's already nothing.
It's already nothing.
Yeah, it's immediately again that feeling. What here is, that's not the right thing, or it's not right now. But what there is, what he has or she has, I should be like that. It's always like there's something wrong. That's such a deep embodied belief.
I mean, when I come to your messages or from Tony or whatever, it always projects on, that what Rose have is better, or the situation over there is better than this here. This here, that. But, that looks more easy, more easygoing, more or less. I could become like that.
Yeah. It's sure. When there's some in a lot of other ways we do the spiritual path, then it's the same here. Yeah, of course. Because that feeling, there's something missing or not right yet, that's still there, can be still there. And then it's the same, the same way of looking. Yeah. And again, and in the same time, there's hearing, there's nothing wrong. It's like, it's amazing. There's no, that's your upper dream in a way. And then, but then it's coming. Yeah.
Because I remember last year, I see some YouTube videos where the people show a message more or less, and then they have this massive shift, and the complete message they had before completely collapsed. And at first they was just stunned about what's happening, and then they say they couldn't talk about this, or they tried to attempt to articulate that, but the whole story before was completely collapsed. It was all for nothing. And
can be a bit. There was a bit sadness when this happened. I was a bit sad because I worked so hard for years, decades. Yeah. And then it was gone.
Because it was quite interesting to see the shift happening for some people. You see some YouTube videos and they talk about mindfulness and stuff like that, and then collapse everything. And then they said, it's this.
It's really like, you can't speak. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, sure. Yeah. How can you, you want to say it? And I remember, I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to say, and I didn't know how. Yeah. In that sense, there's you could say a development. It's a bit tricky in the story. There, in the beginning, there was just, and that's in the story, there were no words. I didn't know what to say. I couldn't talk. And after some years, it started a bit, and then it was still some looking for words and things like that. And then it became more obvious or more normal or things like that in that sense. So maybe there was falling away even more. I don't know. I can't say what happened, but there was something more. It's more obvious. It's more normal. So it's more easy to talk in a normal way and just saying what's coming after some years.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit like playing out. You get played out more or less, and a lot of this old restrictions falls away.
Yeah, and then it's coming more easily and more. It's more normal. It's just so normal. It's nothing to do with all those words of awareness and enlightenment and all that. You don't need those words. Can do, but why? I don't have anything with that.
Yeah, I think in our society we are so bring up this hero's journey that we get somewhere, that we are evolve, that we have go into a process of development. And it's so deep ingrained in our human psyche, more or less. And that's all the development system is to get something, to get somewhere, to put effort and stuff.
Yeah.
And our whole psyche, more or less, is based on that, to develop, to get somewhere, to educate and whatever. And it's completely different ball game, more or less.
Yeah, when there's loss, then that's something else. Yeah.
And somehow it is clear that we, because of this theme of death or dying, more or less, that we lose everything we gained. And all the development stories come to an end because it's the end of development. And
yeah, but it is not, we lose everything, but there's nothing left. There's not even me. It's not, I have nothing. It's just, even not that. It's just nothing. Yeah.
Thank you, Rose, for sharing the message.
Yeah.
Hi, Rose.
Hello.
Hi. With no past, what is a memory really? I mean, it seems a contradiction. We're talking about our memories. Do our memories, are they about something that didn't actually happen? That it's just made up? Is it entirely fresh? Are there no old
there's
memories?
new.
So
There's new, and it isn't like that. It is not the same as what happened. It's just a memory. It's new.
When you say that it's new, it's not like it. Do you mean it's changed? It's a little bit different. Like we see somebody, say somebody committed robbery, and we say he had a moustache, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Or is it something more radical that there was no past? That it's a story being made up. That it's entirely a lie, if you like,
no, it's not a lie, but it's new. It's completely new.
So it's not even a little bit like something that happened before. No. It's entirely new. So,
but it seems like, because we can abstract, it seems like it's the same.
So if I talk about my childhood and all the things that went on and to now, it's being made up as I say it.
No, it's just a memory. Just can be memories or thoughts about that. It's not made up. I don't know. It's not made up. It's just.
But surely, if it's new.
It's new.
Yes, it's entirely new. So these things, this past never happened. Never happened. No.
No.
So that's what I mean. I don't mean that you're intentionally lying or.
No.
It's just that. And so when I tell a story to my friends or whatever, about the past thing, it's a light-hearted thing. It's not serious. It joins in with the conversation maybe that's going on, but it's not a serious memory. I may my expression may be that this was a terrible event or something like that, but it's still. Something that's happens in the conversation.
In that conversation, it's completely new, and because we think like, oh, that there's a past, as we are so convinced there's a past, then it seems like it's really happened, and it's like then you can talk about that. But it's always there's only that. It's only this.
Yeah. I just
There's nothing before, and it didn't happen. That's a strange thing to hear. Also, nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's.
So it's like there's when you're to use the word now. It's in the now that there's no world out there besides what you see, but there's also no other time. So those memories are it's just an entirely fresh.
Yeah.
It's just a fresh thought altogether. It's not really a memory or how we normally think of a memory.
No, sure. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to get clear that you were saying this radical thing rather than that memories it may be inaccurate, maybe the event.
Yeah, but that's because in the story you call it like that. You can say, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I was also thinking about the word adult, what it means to be an adult. Yeah, how everything's encouraged. We're in the story, you know, society. We're brought up to be adults, to be.
No, but it's also thinking about the story. It's not.
Yes, yeah.
You can do that.
But I mean, I see, you know, my grandchildren and you know that you can be. I mean, I don't feel that. I don't know how to say it here, you know, in the story. It doesn't seem that everybody has this pain or what this disturbance that makes you want to seek. It seems there are people who like they just seem accomplished adults. You know, they seemingly run their own lives. They have decent relationships. They're not seeking. It even seems that there's an adult way of being a seeker. You could be a monk or become a Buddhist, and that's like an adult way of being a seeker. And then it's kind of acceptable to be like a mad seeker, someone who's desperate.
There's so many stories. There's so many stories about this, and then can be anything. And it's very simple, just this.
That's
it. And nothing more than that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just that before some people were talking about society and how we're brought up, and then you said something about, well, there's no other people, and I suddenly saw a lot about being an adult or successful adult is thinking I'm an adult amongst other adults.
Yeah. But there are so many stories. It's about adulthood or being successful, or it's endless. Yeah.
But what this message is saying, there are no failures. There's no losers. Sometimes people think, you know, I've tried to be an adult and somehow I haven't made it, or I'm a that type of thing.
Yeah, but when there's always about success and failure, good and bad, all those two worlds. It's duality, you could say that. But duality is a strange word. It's like failure, success, good, bad behavior in a way. And this cuts completely through that. There's just one.
It dismisses the whole idea of adulthood. It seems an adult wouldn't talk like this. They wouldn't even be interested in this.
No,
I don't know if I'm getting. Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
No, adult. You can call it adult of other people's. And most people are not interested in this message.
No. So I have this concept of an adult. What that means.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yes, a message. It feels like sadness is from a person. Yeah, that's when there's someone that everything is from the person. So the feeling seems to be your feeling, thoughts seems to be your thoughts, the body seems to be your body. That's the misunderstanding. There's no one. It's empty. There's no one. There can be feelings for no one. And it's not for no one. Sounds a bit like, oh, that's something, I don't have that, I don't see that. It's just very normal talking. No, there's not somebody inside here. No, that's an assumption, that a belief that's so embodied and seems so be true. In this message, that's questioned.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
So, unhappy thoughts or frightening thoughts don't create bad moods or unhappy moods, and happy thoughts don't create happy moods. It's just there's just a thought, and then a mood. There's no cause and effect.
Yeah, there's no. It's not now is this and now is that.
Right.
That's we are so used because we are so into time and in the relations also, and there's just one, and then you can't even say it in the story because there's just this and you say already and then you can't say it differently. Well, it's not and then. Well, how can you say it differently? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because that's the normal way of thinking.
It does. It seems though that unhappy thoughts or frightening thoughts, if you have them, then you'll, that a bad mood will come from that.
Yeah. That's when there's such a belief and very embodied belief that thoughts are related to what you feel, so you have to look at your thoughts or maybe different things.
Yeah.
Then the experience is that's you could say together. So when there's a belief, then there's the experience also, and then there's just thoughts. They don't have any power. There's just an certain energy like that. Come and go. Like anything else. Without reason. And there's only one. Can be thoughts, can be feeling. And that's the abstract thinking, like, oh, this thought has to be related to that feeling. That's already a story. That seems so normal. Yeah.
It seems like a pattern, like a reliable pattern, but
yeah.
So it's possible that unhappy or frightening thoughts may lead to a happy state, or not lead, but followed by a happy state. Anything can happen.
Yeah. You don't know. There can be that, and can be feeling or nothing going on.
Yeah. Okay.
chat.
Moods still happen. Yeah, there can be. Yeah, what is a mood? Like feeling sad or feeling happy. Yeah, sure.
Like I'm in a, if you're in a bad mood, like, you know what I mean?
Grumpy.
Like, for example, or grumpy, like, nothing.
Yeah, sure, that can happen. Yeah. It's not in those meetings, it seems like I'm always like, but in this meeting that most of the time that's there. It seems like it's always like that. No, it isn't.
No, that's not why I'm asking. I was just wondering.
Yeah, sure.
Mood is kind of like I don't know how to describe it. It's like a cloud, maybe, that just comes over you.
Yeah, can be like
even
that.
Even things that are supposed to be funny or good, or if you're in a bad mood, you don't see them as that.
Yeah. It's not really serious, but it's still there, and it's and reacting like that. And sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you're in a good mood, for some reason you're just in a good mood,
Yeah. Or somebody's telling a sad story and there's coming laughing. There's also that came out. Oh, what's that? It's just coming. Whoa. Yeah, can happen. Yeah.
Thanks.
Mm. Mm. Or complaining, like coming to the skate. I'm skating in the winter, and then in the morning, and it can be very cold, and I'm like, oh, I don't like it to be cold, and I don't want to skate, and then suddenly we're going to skate, and then it's over. So it can happen. Yeah. Yeah.
You should get in touch with Wim Hof.
Ah, no. I'm gonna be grumpy, like, oh, I have to come with that cold water.
But it can never really be believed, no, the story?
No, it's not, it's not, it's there, but it's also not really serious.
Yeah.
Something like that. But it's there. It's really like complaining or things like that. And it's also not really serious some way. Yeah.
And there can be also an enjoyment of anger or...
Yeah, there's somewhere, and there's somewhere, but it can be very, very subtle if there's still the joy. You can't even say it's joy. Yeah, it's joy, but it's that anger can be really there, and then still there's something else. I don't know. It's difficult to say how that works. How that is. Yeah. It's complete, like really little children. It's complete like that, and still there's.
That's what grown-ups are scared of, no?
Yeah, but that's so alive and it's so full on, and it's the same time. It's not about serious. It's just alive. That's it. That's more it. Can be, yeah. And all those restrictions and about behavior, that's just gone. And I remember in the beginning, it was that, like walking naked on the street, like, oh, help. So something like that. Yeah. And then
did you were there some situation where you thought afterwards, like, oops, like because all the filters or the
but no.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't remember. So it's more that other people can say that about what happened. I don't know. And the frightened, the fear of those. Sorry, there was no holding back. No, that's not.
No, but not before the dropping. There was always like a holding back.
Yeah, sure. There was a lot of holding back.
Now it's not there anymore. Then maybe it feels different.
But then you forget it was there. That's the strange thing. And other people who know me can say that, hey, that's different. And I think, oh yeah, that's true.
You don't even know.
Like yeah. Or what also changed, and that I didn't even notice. Maybe late. I think it's later on that there's nothing going on about. I had always, like, when they're going to somewhere, there was also some resistance, like, oh, will I do it right? All those, not really strong, but there always was something going on, like, oh, yeah, it's okay and I like it, but something like that or like that, and that's just gone. And I didn't really mention, and then suddenly I thought, oh, that's never happened for already a time. And then it's sort of like, oh yeah, it was always there, always something going on, like a resistant or something like that. Is that what you say, like trying to behave?
Yeah, to me, always feels like being exposed, maybe to whatever is happening.
Yeah, and so you have to protect in a way, and then everybody has there are different ways to protect, of course. This was a character, there was a more character but very withdrawn and shy and just like that, not saying anything. That changed.
And the shyness is a bit gone now, like it's
yeah, that can be there, but there's much more saying without without any, and there's nothing under it. There's not that's the difference, maybe, that there's no agenda. So when there's just talking or saying things, there's no agenda like oh, look at me how I am, or something, that the need for attention or things like that. No, that's not there. So it's not even noticed. It's just doing that, and then
there's no
without notice,
nothing put onto whatever is happening. Like there's no
agenda
or like
no, there's no need or something like that. That's
it's not coming from anywhere.
No, that's it. Yeah,
it's like
it's
when the me is saying something, it has like a position, or it just
there's always something.
Place.
Yeah, and you want something with that. There's always something, an agenda, things going on, a need. Yeah. And it's also the character. Yeah, I did when I really was very young, there was a really expressive character, and then it became very shy and withdrawn and that.
Yeah.
So it's also the character. It can be also a quiet character. That's different. This is more a fiery one.
No.
Yeah. So, but it's just can be anything. It can be a very quiet person. Then it's that. Yeah. Not always fiery.
Yeah. I'm reading U.G. Krishnamurti a bit. I just enjoy his expression, because it's so like over the top, but because there's no like, it's empty. Whatever he says is empty, but it's just like that.
Yeah. It's just that. Yeah, that's nice.
Money.
Yeah.
The drama.
Yeah. It's sometimes difficult to talk about this, because then when there's talking about this is a fiery person or something, then it seems like it's always like that. No, it's I can talk, but it's not every time in every situation. It's not like that, of course. It can be different. It can be subtle and more, and I don't know what's going on. So it's also not like, oh, Rose is like that. You can't say that. And still that can be talking about what changed. And in the same time, it's not like a solid person who's like that. So it's, in that sense, it's difficult to talk about it, because it's a lot of times seen like, oh, she's like that. I don't know. Can be like that and also not. So maybe tomorrow I'm saying the same and in the same meeting, and then I'm saying something completely different. Can also happen.
And with the dropping of the me, was there also like an apparent change in, or a seeing, like, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore, or I'm going to do this now, or something like that?
No, not at all. No, that didn't happen anymore, but it wasn't noticed. So in the beginning, it was not noticed that that wasn't there anymore. And there were still some doubts, because there was a belief that me was the tension. Me was the tension. So when there was, after some months, some tension, I thought, oh, me is back. And there was some doubts, like, oh, how could I know that there was no me, and things like that. And then those thoughts after a while, they didn't come anymore. So it's more like that. And nothing going on about what happened. Like no reporter. But it's so normal that you forget it was there. Another chat. Would you say that there are no psychological processes? No, only in the story, it seems like, because there's a lot of thinking about what's going on. So that seems like, oh, what's going on here? Oh, maybe I have some, oh, it's better to do that and that and that. All those thoughts, and trying to behave differently. Are in the story, but in the same time, there's just this. In its story, it seems like all those psychological processes and behaving and trying to behave in a certain way. It's the dream of me. It's a lot of thoughts about that. It's reporting and thinking. And underneath that, there's just walking or sitting or feeling sadness or something else. That's it. Nothing wrong, nothing right. It's just that. Already. So nothing to look for. It's already that. It's already this. Even also the thoughts about, I have to change, or there has to be something else, or those thoughts can come. That's it too. So it's already complete.
Hi, Rose.
Hello. Hi, Simon.
It's so very simple, so utterly simple that at first it made me burst out laughing.
Oh. Yeah.
It's like working in the garden, seeing ants and realizing this is it.
Yeah. That's it. Mm-hmm.
But I really find it difficult to explain. The words cannot describe.
No, no. You can't explain it. You can't say what it is. That's impossible. So it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So Rose,
Yeah.
So that also means that in a way the story fixing has dropped.
The story
fixing. This need to
yeah.
fix the story.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a never-ending process.
Right. Because it's
Yeah.
not necessary. Because this is quite amazing.
It's not wrong what happens. That's
Yes.
what it's thought. Yeah.
Yeah, and because when that is like in a way seen that nothing is wrong, like in substance, then the story fixing can just drop. Yeah.
It's like an escape, and then there's just that, and then there's suddenly, that's already it. That what happened? Maybe a feeling, or I don't know, nothing, or that's it. It's not. This is not a special way of seeing things. It's very simple saying that, but it is already, and then, but da 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 da, and then because it has to be different. No, it can't. That's the paradise. That's the completeness.
That's beautiful.
Also.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean it's nice. Not at all. That's what we're looking for sometimes, that's nice or happy or free or anything. It's what it is. Anything, everything. Tension. Yeah. Yeah. You can't fix it. How can you fix it?
Wow. Yeah.
It's not only that there's nothing wrong, but there's how can you fix? There's no one. It's just happened by itself. It's just life happening, apparently also. So nothing is real. It's fixing what? Fixing what?
Yeah.
And that's the joy. This is it. That what is happening is it. It isn't nice or something happy or anything, but it is it. And that's the freedom. Nothing trying to change it. It's just, God, then, whoa.
I mean, the story is also in your is also made up, no? About
yeah,
like there's a story about this life, and then we try to fix the story.
Yeah.
But the story is only made up. So.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. And we think we are the people of we are creating our thoughts, something like that. It's just life. So it's not you creating your thoughts. So then you try to create a positive thought, and then that's you're busy with that, and suddenly something happens. Then shit, fuck. Wait! I was trying to create my. It's amazing.
Bound to fail.
Yeah.
Rose, are there birds outside where you live? Are there birds outside?
In the story, you mean? In the story. There's no outside, but okay. You can talk in the story if you want.
No, I just heard some like I was wondering whether there are birds and they are children.
Yeah. We have a garden, and then we have made some kind of cage. Then the small birds can come inside. There's some food, and the big birds like pigeons.
Yes.
We don't like pigeons. So they are really fatty ones, so we don't like them. And then the small ones come, and they sing or a little
beautiful.
Bit. Yeah, that's
I
nice.
just heard it, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think we're gonna have a break, a small break, like 20 minutes. So we start in Holland. We start 10 before 4. It's 20 minutes, so we have a break, 20 minutes, and then we start again. See you later.